Hello. It's Tuesday. Nearly said Thursday. It's Tuesday, 4 p.m. It's a drawing stream with me. This is how I do intros now. I wave my arms around. How is everyone? Are you well? Are you not well? Are you staying alert? That's the main thing. Are you staying alert for COVID? Are you staying alert for other people? Who knows? Uh, Thank you for all the waffles for following, and also to Donut Age for following. If you do not already follow the channel, please smash that follow button and get me to 50 sweet ass followers, because then I can be a Twitch affiliate and I can take your dang money, but in a nice way. Today on the stream, I am going to be drawing some Rick and Morty stuff. Well, it's not very interesting stuff. I've done most of the interesting work this morning. I've got to draw backgrounds now on a dog's bum. So it's going to be backgrounds and dog arse, and I might switch it up with some Chloe Noonan stuff to be a little bit more interesting. Hello to Slendy Man in the chat. So yeah, let's kick this stream off with some action, with some big drawing action. Let me know if the stream looks okay. I had to lower the frame rate as things took a bit of a dive on Thursday, but it looks okay on my end. I also installed a 10-second delay. Just in case something nasty happens. So yeah, this is a cover which I am doing for one of the hardcovers. Rick and Morty comes out in about 76 different editions, and this is the hardcover that they do. The hardcovers are quite nice, but they're quite expensive. They're slightly oversized, which is nice. They used to have a voice chip, but they don't anymore. I don't know why. And so I'm on a bit of a deadline grind today, which is why the stream probably will be a little bit rough. I mean, it's always rough. But yeah, it might be a little bit more chaotic than normal. If you've got any questions, you can always drop them in the chat. Let me know how your weekend was, if you had a weekend. Hello to all the waffles. Thank you for the follow. This is my second cover of the weekend. Week, sorry. I did another cover for an unannounced thing. Yeah, it seems like the comic industry shut down and then it's back up and running in full force. So everything is sort of go, go, go again. Which is good. It does mean we... I didn't have as much time as I thought I had for some stuff. Sorry, I'm also looking at some previous drawings to see how I drew this dog a year and a half ago. Dog? Giraffe. Giraffe. I am now trying to remember to mute my mic while I take slurps of tea. For all the waffle says, watching you while I work from home, I hope you are staying healthy and safe. I am. I'm staying alert and safe and at home. And all the other messages. Yeah, I hope everyone is saying the same. Trying to think what I did over the weekend, which I can talk about. Did I actually do anything interesting? Watched Rise of Skywalker, and well, that's a bad movie, which I did not enjoy. So there's that. I knew I was in trouble when 46 seconds in, my girlfriend asked about the stuff that's in the crawl. She said, "When did this happen?" And I said, "Oh, the stuff about Palpatine. Oh, that happened in Fortnite." And then I had to, just explain essentially why they decided to omit a bunch of stuff and put it in all the media tie-in stuff. I knew I was in trouble from that moment. I kind of want to do a comic about it. It was quite funny. So I did that. I worked on a bunch of Chloe Noonan pages, which was fun. Because I knew I would have to get on with some real work this week. So I knew it'd be pens down for a little while on the Noonan. Although I was saying to my fiance other half, I am quite tempted to start doing 12 to 16 hour days again. to try and get all the work I want to do done, and then she shot me a look which said, no, you're not doing that. Because it's not that I don't enjoy Rick and Morty, but I think I enjoy Chloe Noonan a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Oh, hi to Skinny Drawn Boy, whose children keep them up at night at weird times. Yeah, all of my friends have children. I am acutely aware of the not misery, the trying times where the sleep habits are not what you want them to be. All the things to look forward to. I'm enjoying the dad chat that's going on in the in the chat. Shout out to all my dads and mums out there. All the parents. Especially if you're having to homeschool, Christ. So yeah, I should talk a little bit about this cover that I'm doing. So it's for the next volume of the hardcovers. So it's volume 6, which isn't out until next year, like late next year. But the way publishing moves, yeah, every time. They need it right now. So it's going to be some characters which I drew in issue 41 and 42 of Rick and Morty. Essentially, a bunch of animals in Hawaiian shirts. It's the Rick Revenge Squad arc, if anyone remembers that, which was the first arc which I drew digitally. So that's fun to look at. I think issue 41 I drew in ink, and then 42 I drew on my iPad without any practice. I just went straight in. So it's a little garish. I'm sort of switching between the two issues to get a feel of things, and it holds up to a certain extent. But yeah, at one point this might just be me drawing sofas. It's one of those things I thought I'd be done by now, but no. Essentially, that dog's going to give me some trouble because it's going to be Tangent City. Yeah, do I dare shrink it and then re-ink it? Tell you what, let's get rid of the tail. For All the Waffles asks, who's everyone's favourite Rick and Morty character? Theirs is probably Summer, because she's getting badass. Forgot to mute the mic for that tea slurp. Who's my favourite Rick and Morty character? I don't know if I have one. Rick? Jerry? I like Jerry. I like that Jerry's a weak idiot. Whenever I write Rick and Morty, Jerry is the easiest character to write. It's fun to put him in those scenarios. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to have to re-ink that though because the line's now anti-alias, so that's a sod. But yeah, and if I bring that tail down, yeah, I think I've talked about tangents on the stream before. Tangents is when a line of like a foreground interacts maybe too much with a background, and it sort of makes like a junction, as it were, which when you look at it just looks a bit strange. I find when I do pieces like this where there's lots of characters in, it just becomes Tangent City. So it's quite difficult in order to not do tangents when it's like this, but I try not to. Like we're going to have one essentially here, if I can show you. So yeah, so that would be a tangent, then that line comes off. Show you. So yeah, this line here interacts with that line too much there. This enters a junction. So yeah, it's tricky. But they also need it today, so I kind of get it. That's the one thing I don't like about working to publishing deadlines is sometimes it's like, oh, we need this, and can you get it to us next week? And it's like, oh, okay. And you have to sometimes just do it in a morning. Then if it lives for all eternity on Amazon. Yeah, so, okay, let's re-ink our dog. Our Duke? Our dog. Now, I've not seen the newest Rick and Morty, the one that came up on Sunday. I've not seen that one yet. So no spoilers, please. But I thought the train one from last week, I thought that was incredible. I thought that was really good. Again, no spoilers, just in case someone's not seen it. But yeah, I thought train train or tickets please guy. Yeah, could not stop laughing at that. It's weird. I've got such a strange relationship with this with Rick and Morty in that I spent, sorry, 5 years just staring at these characters. That when I was watching the TV show, I was just sort of looking at all the mistakes I made in the comic, like drawing the characters wrong and stuff. Like, oh, I don't draw Morty right. That's all I could see when I was watching it, so it became a little less enjoyable. Nearly at the perfect circle there. I did have a thing about 2 minutes before I went on stream that I'd lost most of my work. That I think I cleared a layer by mistake. And Clip Studio doesn't have as many history slots as Photoshop does. And I thought it was a goner. I thought all the work was gone. I nearly had a little meltdown. But it was okay. But man, that fear. Did something similar last night when I handed in the cover. Well, I was asking for notes, see if my editors had any changes, and I got the file up on Photoshop, took a screenshot of it, sent it in. I think I made a couple of revisions, and then when I went to bed, I just closed it and didn't save it, and I was like, "Oh, you idiot!" Oh, skinny drawn boy, we've all been there. I was doing some flats last week and realised I've been working on the inks layer. Thankfully, it only took a minute or two to realise I didn't have to backtrack too much. Yeah, it sucks when that happens. I find if I've started colouring on the ink layer or whichever, because I work in threshold inks, so it's pure black and white line. I just select the line and layer via copy or cut, sorry, whatever. And yeah, but no, the amount of times I've done that. I sent the file to the colorist today for the other cover, and I was like, oh, I've got everything on a different layer, so if you want to grab stuff, it's really easy. All pleased with myself because I sent it off how the colorist likes it, and then he was like, oh, this is great. Do you have the layer file by any chance? Because you've just sent me a flat file. That was embarrassing. Right. So yeah, this might look a bit of a mess on screen. I do apologise for that, and the fact that I'm onto layer 28 is ridiculous, and I've not been bothered to delete any of the old layers which I don't need. But yeah, this is just the way I work. Chaos. I think when I'm in such a rush to get this stuff done, I'm just so quick to just do a new layer. Because I don't know, do a new layer and don't label it, which I hate myself for afterwards, but I don't know, it just means I can get on with the drawing a bit quicker. Okay, it's going to be another tangent on Rick's hairline, so let's try and bring the bookcase up. There's a tangent which I've just done again, but we'll hopefully rub that out, or erase it, sorry. Skinny asks, the rough lay appears to have effects like gunfire. Is that something you ink at this stage, or does your colorist add that stuff later? I will do a color hold on it, so a bit like what I was doing earlier with the grey. I will essentially ink that in for the colorist, and then they'll add all their little effects and stuff. I try and make my colorist's life as easy as I can. Because it's a thankless task, colouring comics. And if it means like they can either eat earlier or see their family, or not have to dick around too much, if I just do a colour hold, then yeah, that's it. Speaking of the gunfire, or the laser fire, because you can't have guns, I don't know how much violence I can get away with on a cover. I just handed a cover in that was quite bloody. But it's not violent, if that makes sense. So with this one, I'm a bit like, people are getting shot, but what I would normally do is have their guts hanging out. And I don't think I can do that on a cover. So with the background at the moment, I'm just trying to get those lines in, excuse me, as rough as I can, just to get the basic shape of everything. And because I'm using post correction on the brush, which makes it a straighter line, I'm trying to do all that in one go, so I'm not really going between two different options constantly. The pink area on the template isn't going to be seen on the front cover, but because it's a wraparound cover. So it's a front and back image, but also the way it's printed is that the pink area will essentially be on the other side of the front cover. This way hardback printing is, they'll then put another sheet on top of that to bind it together with the interior. But I still have to draw in the pink area as if it was a, front cover. Especially if like the plates shift at all, you've got to have that safety net. I used to feel happy with my drawings at different stages. So like when I would do the pencil, I would go, "Oh, this looks rubbish." But when I did the inks, I was like, "Oh, this looks fine. I like this." And then it got to the stage where like I hated my pencils and my inks. It was only when the colours came back I was like, "Oh, this actually looks okay." Now I think it's gone the other way, where I'm only really happy with my roughs. Maybe that's a sign that I need to change my style up a little bit, become less precious. God, I'd love to. I watched another inking video of Jim Marford before coming on stream, and yeah, again, that guy is so amazing. I don't know how his brain works, how he can think about doing those images, but yeah, wow. So much texture, so much like spontaneity. That looks like a loaf of bread. That's not what I was going for. So essentially I'm trying to destroy their living room. So I'm trying to add in like lots of bullet holes and stuff, or laser gun holes. Oh, thank you for the kind words, Waffles. Uh, it looks like you do comics. What type of comics do you do? And how long have you been doing them for? Speaking about early stuff, because I've launched my Patreon, I'm trying to think about what stuff I can show off, and I was thinking about doing a show and tell of my old stuff, but I'm not sure I can bring myself to show that hot garbage to the world again. You know when it's just been, you know it's been scrubbed from the internet. You know it's finally safe. So yeah, I don't know if I want to put that back online. But yeah, we all start somewhere. Some questions. Waffles saying, oh, they did a comic called New Girl. Recently got a tablet and stylus to switch to digital. I had 2 drawings appear in the Squirrel Girl letters section. Great! Oh, that's amazing. One of my favourite Marvel comics of recent years. Waffles, how do you find the switch to digital? I was talking about it earlier, and that it I found it okay, but it was the pen pressure that I had the biggest issue with, especially going from like a brush pen to a stylus. That was really strange. And Skinny Drawn Boy asks, interesting to see you draw through lines on a lot of the characters and backgrounds. Do you go back and erase any lines? Yeah, I do. The only reason I do that, where I draw through characters, is so I know the line is right on the other end, rather than sort of like stopping and then starting, because I can't put a ruler on my screen. So John, who normally joins us, John Allison, said there is an easy way of doing this, where you can essentially, I think he may fill in his characters. He might fill in, like, what am I trying to say? The non-line work part of the drawing of his characters white, and then he does a new layer underneath to essentially enable him to do backgrounds like that, without having to do much erasing. But I've not done that yet because I am not a professional. I am a professional, but I think that the hardest thing for me about digital is that I've learnt so much, and that I have sort of told myself that this may be the wrong way to do it, but it's the way I'm doing it. Almost as if like this is easier for me. Like if I had to like learn how to do it properly, I don't have time, quote unquote, time to do it. Which is not the way to do things, really. Like there's so much stuff that Clip Studio can do, and I have no idea about it. Yeah, Waffles. I had to tweak my settings a lot. It depends on what program you're using, but I know on Clip Studio there's a setting for what you're talking about with the when your hand touches the screen, and it will make a mark or it will move things. There is a setting if you're using a program like Clip Studio, to turn that off, because I had to do that because I was essentially making like rogue lines started appearing. But yeah, I don't think I'll go back to drawing comics on paper. I kind of want to experiment inking on paper again, but with digital pencils, if that makes sense. So printing them off and blue lining them, and then yeah, just ink over, because I do miss the thrill, the thrill and the danger that comes with inking. You know, but it's just this the feel of it on the paper is something that you can't quite replicate. Yeah, skinny. I had to really like think long and hard if an iPad was right for me, and especially financially. Um, I just thought about all the hours that I was going to get back if I didn't have to scan. I was so sick of scanning, and like um, erasing a good image because I'd drawn it a different size or a wrong size or something. Whereas if I just was doing it digitally, I could just move it. But yeah, the only thing I don't like about them is that they are quite expensive. But I think more iPads now are becoming compatible with the pencil. Oof, yeah, I used to work on A3 as well. Well, and I used to scan everything on an A4 scanner. If you don't know Dan Berry's photo merge trick, it's really great. Let me see if I can find that for you. Maybe not. Oh, actually, sorry, man looked something up on computer. Maybe not. Okay. I think this will explain it. So yeah, okay. Yeah, photo mode is really good. I found 9 times out of 10 it was perfect. Um, Here's a question for the chat. For those of you who do make comics, do you make physical copies of your comics to sell? Like, do you make mini comics and say you sell them online or you sell them at a convention? The reason I ask is that a few of us were thinking about how um, mini comics, or the art of mini comics, seems to be in decline a little bit, and just how important that was for us when we first started out. Oh, it's good. Yeah. So some people are still making mini comics. That's good. Good to hear. Do you find it like valuable that you do that? Do you because essentially what we were trying to like figure out is that we learned so much about like putting a comic together. So not just in terms of like laying a book out, but like just laying the pages out next to each other and how that works as a spread. Um, I do see a lot of sorry, I do see at conventions more merchandise than comics nowadays. Excuse me, which makes you just wonder, like, for people who like wanting to do comics and stuff, are they actually doing like mini comics and stuff like that? And I was thinking about that, and I wish I was a little bit more adventurous with my mini comics. I wish I played around with format a little bit more. Skinny says Thought Bubble last year was great for books. See, I'm going to disagree on that. I was looking around and maybe I just couldn't find what I was looking for. But it just seemed to me like every store was just like patches and pins and movie posters. Like I think I spent the least amount of money I've ever spent at a Thought Bubble. I don't know. Sometimes I compare our little scene to yeah the American stuff. Maybe I shouldn't. Sorry, I'm really spinning this screen around today, but it's just because I'm in a bit of a rush to get this done. Although two covers in a day, man, like I don't wish that on anyone. Oh, James has some hot takes. Most conventions in the UK are in a bit of a sorry state. Too many of them sharing a small pile, in my honest opinion. Well, look, I'm going to agree with that a little bit. Um, I think the fact that we have a convention every weekend, to the point where sometimes we have 3 or 4 conventions battling battling for attention on the same weekend. I don't think that's great. But what to do? I don't know. It's like there was one convention um, back in the mid aughts, early to mid aughts, called the UK Web and Mini Comics Thing. That was its actual name, and it was in a student union hall, I think, in Mile End, and it was brilliant. It was honestly flipping brilliant. And you might go, who would go to that? Who would go to some ropey little hall in Mile End? Let me tell you, Kate Beaton. That was her first UK show. She went there. Rich Stevens would go there. Meredith Grant would go there. Roger Langridge would go there. It was like the one place I think where our little indie scene would congregate, and then it just went away. It seems so weird, but when that went away, it felt like everything kind of went with it a little bit. Everything started to crack a little bit. And Thought Bubble's so big now. Like, I do love Thought Bubble dearly, but it's the big dudes who get the most exposure from Thought Bubble, I think. And now there's flipping movie posters as well. Like, yeah, I could quite happily not have that anymore. Oh, see you later, Skinny. Although they're probably gone because that was 9 minutes ago. um, thanks for the chat. I wonder what he has to do at 5 p.m. He's got to get out on the streets to protect protect the mean streets. God, it's a right mess, this, isn't it? Let's try and focus it a little bit more. Because I'm going to have to start tidying this up a little bit. Yeah. Is that bebop in there, Mark? Well, it's an unofficial bebop. I did have a bebop in here. I think it's behind me now. Yeah, it might look too close. I might have to do a quick edit. I don't think Cartoon Network's going to let me get away with that one. I think I was drawing a bat originally, and then... Yeah, so I was drawing a bat originally, and it just turned into a bebop. You know how it goes. Yeah, I thought I would have drawn all that on the same layer. Good going. Just saw that Tony Hawk's collection, a remastered collection, is coming out on PlayStation, which I didn't realise would make me this happy. That's amazing. I wonder if they've got all the music. Man, I used to flipping love those games. I wonder if it's going to come out on Switch, and if it does, would it actually look decent? I used to spend hours just like skating around and doing like the horse like tricks and stuff. Tony Hawk weirdly reminded me of Spider-Man, the video game. Like just all the different tricks you could do in midair and stuff. I've been trying 100% the Spider-Man PlayStation game. And there's so many bits in there you have to do. Like you have to like free fall for like I think is it 10,000 meters I think. So last night at about like 11:30, I was just like swinging around and then just like falling off buildings. And I was like, this isn't the game. This is not the game, Mark. I was like, well, I want that trophy. I think what I'll do with this as well, what I hate doing is rushing a piece and then just handing it in. So I think I'm going to get it as finished as I can and then send them an email just asking for changes and notes and stuff. And then look at it again tomorrow because I don't see the mistakes until like it's too late, so I'd rather, I don't know, take a day to look at it. Oh, okay. James is saying he has one one trophy to get before platinum. Yeah, the high score is it the screwball and the taskmaster challenges? Because I can get the mid trophy. I just can't get the I don't know. Is it ultimate trophy? Because yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. I do love that game. I'm playing for the DLC at the moment, and just getting like you get so much out of it. Like Christ, it's too hard. It is too hard. Um, I spent essentially 3 nights, I think, doing one fight in one of the City That Never Sleeps DLCs. I think it was the Marja, um, and I was essentially just trying to get the perfect score, like do all the tricks that they need and stuff. And it's just hours, just me just like fumbling around, trying out different suits and power ups and stuff. Much to Robin's joy, where every 10 minutes I do turn to her and say, I am actually good at this game." She goes back to her knitting with a expression. James says video games are meant for clumsy sausage fingers. I think video games are just too hard. Like, look, someone's going to say get good, noob, but I do start out on easy. Sorry, I start out on normal mode, right? For everything, I'm like, look, I'm going to start out on normal and then hope for the best. And then drop it down if I need to. But some of the Naughty Dog stuff, I find I don't know. Sometimes I find the aiming a bit weird on like shooting. I like a good auto lock or auto aim. Right. What's it? Coming up to 5:30. I want to keep going. I want to keep going up to about 6, I reckon. There's so much to do still. Jakey, hello, mate. Shooting with a controller is already a difficult prospect. Yeah, yeah. I'm playing Uncharted because it's free at the moment on PlayStation. Um, and the first one is just like I'm aiming and like just doing that to fight the bad guy. I'm like, there's got to be a quicker way because I'm getting shot to Kingdom Come. I wish I could not play that game, but my friends are like, "Oh, you'll get more out of it if you play like your first one, because you know the later ones are good, but you'll get more out of it if you play through 1 to 3." Okay, fine. But yeah, I think I had to turn auto aim on Last of Us when I played that. It's like this is not happening. There's a game called Celeste, which is a flipping brilliant game. Um, Everything about that, like its story, its message, its gameplay, its music, its art style. It's so I wasn't quite prepared for how much I love that game. Sorry. At one point, it says a little message comes up on the screen. It says, "Be proud of your death count because it shows that you are learning." And I think my death count at the end of it was in the 2 to 3 thousands. Like I died so many times because it's all about it's a platformer, but you have to know the route of where to go, and the only way you really can do that, especially if it's two screens, is if you go off and explore. And I kind of think that with every video game I play now, like it's okay if you die a trillion times because it's how you learn to play the level. I see video games as like just like entertainment, so if they're like super difficult, I really don't mind jumping the difficulty down. Like when I finished Celeste, I was so like elated because like that. I think the second to last run is brutal. Like when you're so tense, like your elbows hurt, and like it feels like your spine is just like, or your back sort of like just like boshing against your spine. But yeah, just the thrill at the end of like going like, oh, great, did it. Oh, wrong layer. Where are we? There we are. Not that the wrong layer matters much because this image is a bit screwed up. There's a lot going on. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put the lab coat behind the foot. And I don't think, like I was saying earlier, like video games are so difficult nowadays. I'm not sure that's necessarily true in the sense that I think video games have always been flipping difficult. Like if you go back and play like some of the NES games without a rewind feature, it's just impossible. Was I playing? I remember trying to play one of the Mega Man games. It may have been Mega Man 2, and just being like, what the hell is this? I thought Mega Man was easy. He's so cute. And I was just like, just turning it off in absolute frustration. Yeah, right, so I'm going to need to get a foot in there because otherwise there'll be a tangent. Maybe I'll get Blas's foot off. Again, I'm not sure how much violence I can have on this page. Then let's extend that leg a bit because it's a bit short. Oh yeah, TMNT for the NES. So I had that as a kid. I don't think I saw past the second level until I saw a speedrun of it quite recently. I had no idea what the second level looked, or the third level looked like, because I was like, this game's impossible. I was much happier with the arcade game and the what was the Mega Drive one? Hyper Stone Quest, something like that. The side-scrolly, more animation-looking ones. They were more my jam. It's so weird, like Tasmania again for a game that I thought was going to be absolute piece of piss on the Mega Drive. I couldn't get this one jump right. I think I had to jump when he was in a mine cart. So he had to jump and then go onto another ledge. Just couldn't do it. I don't think I saw past the first level. I think I just played with the intro screen because you could interact with that, and then played up until the mine cart, and then that was it. Waffle says E.T. and Silver Surfer were downright hard. James says Lion King on the SNES. Earthworm Jim. I did better with Earthworm Jim as an adult than I did as a child. God, there's so many tangents on this. Right, let's try and tidy that up. I need another layer because I'm going to have to do that. No, that didn't feel good. There we go. Oh, Jake says he was able to do Lion King in 45 minutes. Woof. That's why I like watching speedruns because it's the stuff I can't do. And all their different tricks and stuff. I think I watched an Aladdin one because that was another Disney platformer that was quite difficult. And being like, or Jungle Book maybe? Yeah, no, I think it was Jungle Book. It's like, oh, you have to throw these apples at this character and then jump down 2 levels and then do it to this character and then... Yeah, Waffles brings this up that in the first Sonic, was it the first Sonic you can't do the spin charge? Yeah, I think that always throws me off because it's become such a staple of Sonic. But then Jake mentions you can do that in the re-release. Cool. That's looking a bit like an actual proper illustration now, not just a mess. It's still kind of messy, but it will come out in the colours. It'll be saved by by Leonardo. Sorry, it's weird. I'm watching the screen. I forget I'm 10 minutes. No, not 10 minutes. 10 seconds behind. But yeah, there's a little a little message popped up on my screen. I've missed a leg from summer, so let's try and figure that out. Where are the pencils? There they are. It's a bit of a mess. Let's try that new layer. Let's try and put it like that's there. I did quite like the leg up there, but I just don't think it's going to work with the gun. Okay, let's just bung it there. I don't need to pencil that. I can just ring that. Essentially, someone's supposed to have jumped backwards onto the sofa. I'm not sure that's what it looks like, but hey ho. Jake asked, did I get very far in Golf Story? Jake, I think I gave up instantly. I hated it. I was talking to my talking to my fiance about this. I was like, "There's only ever one game on the Switch which I've just deleted, and that's Golf Story." She's like, "Why did you play a game called Golf Story?" I was like, "Well, it turns out I like the game in that it's like a flipping Stardew Valley where you go around and talk to everyone, and you have like side missions and stuff." I hated the golf. So I'd like the story aspect of Golf Story, But the golf aspect I thought was horrible. But they're doing another one, aren't they? They're doing, is it Sports Story or something like that? But yeah, no, I deleted Golf Story off. I was like, I'm never playing this again. Let's pop in behind the sofa. Oh, don't worry about it, man. So many people recommended that game to me, so I was going to give it a try anyway. I don't think I paid full price for it. I may have done, but I mean, it's so long ago. But no, I hated it. I felt a bit dumb because I was like, why am I not liking this game when everyone else likes it? I'm trying to think what I'm playing at the moment on my Switch. It's not much. My Switch has sort of gone, I don't know, not gone on standby, but it's other things to do maybe. And I'm not into Animal Crossing, so there we go. I was going to get the Tourist, but then I think I missed it when it was on sale. I played the demo and I really liked it. In Stardew Valley, I went back to it after a long period of time, and I really enjoyed it. But I kind of got to the point where it was starting to get a little bit boring again. So I was like, should I get a divorce? And then I read up about divorces in Stardew Valley, and it's really it's really brutal. You have to go find the wizard or the witch or something called, is it the mayor? But then the person will have like no memory of like ever dating you. But you do, and the town does, but they don't. Wild. So I was quite tempted because I married someone a bit boring. Who did I marry? Was it Abigail? It was between Abigail and the redhead who was the artist. And I think I went with Abigail because I think she was more into me at the time. So I knew I could level up if I got married or something. The idea was that like I needed help on the farm. And I thought if I got married in Stardew Valley, Christ almighty. If I got married, then I would have some help on the farm. I would have some help on the farm, and then it never happened. So... So I was like, well, if I'm not getting any help from the farm, I might as well divorce. Oh my god. Oh god, that really tickled me. What a scumbag. I want maximum profit. I'll get married. Yeah, classic male, says Jeff. I'll probably... Jeff? Jake? Jesus. That viewer count's about to plummet, probably. Right, let's get back to drawing. What was I doing? That's it. I could probably get away. Rick and Morty have released some Zoom backgrounds, which is great because it means I get some reference material. um, so I've been looking at the living room Zoom background. No, I've not seen Solar Opposites yet, Jake. Is it good? Because I saw the trailer and I thought it looked alright, and then it wasn't on a site which I use to watch stuff like that. So I haven't checked it out yet. Because it's on Hulu and we don't get Hulu over here, so you have to do a, well, you know. You have to wait for it to come out properly, like a responsible adult. I did wonder if they were going to do a comic about it, and if they were, why I've not been asked to do it. Jakey says it started a bit abruptly. I had to give it a couple of episodes to get a feel for what it was trying to do, but by the end, loved it. So I hear that it, because it's on Hulu, which is a bit like Netflix, it leans into more of the streaming / binging style storytelling, a bit like BoJack does. In that it's very linear from episode to episode. What else is there? There's a rug. Oh, I'll do the rug. Okay. Thicker line. Cool. That's not looking that bad. I was a bit worried about it when I first started the stream because that background hadn't been filled in, so it was just looking a bit limp and lifeless, but this is actually looking officially not bad. I wish I would name these bloody layers. Okay, it's about 10 to 6. I'm going to go until the backgrounds are done. So probably about another 10 or so minutes, because I've got to do some guns and stuff, and that will probably involve me tracing. I don't like admitting that, but when you're on a deadline and the Rick and Morty props are there, sometimes it's a bit easier to just trace. So what can I talk about in the closing 10 minutes? If you are a member of my Patreon, thank you very much. There was an email that went out on Monday about the Patreon exclusive stream, which I'll be doing in a couple of weeks. I'll be doing that not on Twitch, because Twitch doesn't allow private streaming, which is fine, whatever. But if you're not a Patreon member, then if you go to patreon.com/MarcEllaby, then you can become a Patreon to help support my comic book making. Although I realise things are tough, so it's a chill affair. It's not a make or break, but it means I can sort of like show you process stuff and show you my comics before everyone else sees them. But it also means I'm not strangled by the algorithm, which is something that just seems to keep happening, especially on Facebook, where it just can't seem to get posts shown anymore. So it's nice to be able to connect to an audience that want to hear from me without me paying a literal billionaire the privilege to show my posts to people who signed up. So yeah. The exclusive stream will be a bit like this, but it might be a bit more show and tell. It'll be on a Sunday the 24th. So if you haven't checked out the Patreon, please go and check it out. It's a good time. I think it's a very welcoming community over there. What else? Oh yeah, if you're in the UK, then Rick and Morty issue 60 actually came out. If you go to my website, you can buy a copy, and I will sign it. Thank you to those who have, because that's a nice thing. I'm not sure what's going on with MCM, but I assume it's not happening. There's been no official word about that. So if you do want signed stuff, that's probably the best way to get it this year, because I can't see conventions really happening. Oh, and if you are part of the Patreon, there was a email about the stream where you can leave your questions and questions for a Q&A. So if you've got a question that you think, oh, that'll make some good content, you can leave it there. I'm just adding dots now. Okay. So are we good? Yeah. So MCM was supposed to be at the end of this month, and they've moved it to July the 24th. But looking at what the government was saying yesterday in their booklet, I can't see it happening at all. They're talking about cultural events that are crowded, probably won't be allowed to open to the public. So how do you have MCM about the public? I don't know. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But I think that's going to do it for us. There you go, that's what it looks like at the moment. So I've got a bit of tidying up to do. A few guns to draw. And then, yeah, that'll be shipped off to Oni probably tonight or tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. These streams are a pleasure. I hope that you are enjoying them. They will carry on. I'll keep doing them for as long as everyone is in lockdown. I will be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. at twitch.tv/MarcEllaby. If you do not follow me on social media, please do. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all Marc Ellaby, one word. Yeah, Thursday I'll probably be drawing a Chloe Noonan page, hopefully, because I like drawing them. If you've not hit that follow button, become an Ella buddy. Smash it. We are so close to 50 followers. So very close. It'd be great to get over that hurdle in order to become a Twitch affiliate. So until Thursday, please look after yourselves. Take care. Stay alert. And yeah, chat to you all soon. Bye-bye.